In this world of just constant bad news, like you can't look at anything without getting upset because the world just seems to be falling apart. Every so often, you get this blossom of extremely good news. And to top it all off, it's extremely good news from A, Tennessee, and B, my hometown in Tennessee, too. That's two rarities you get in this world when you get good news, and it's made not just national news, but international news. If you don't know what I'm talking about the TikTok stand-in families that help out LGBTQ plus people in need when they need family members at their weddings or whatever kind of venue that they're looking for, where they would need family. And I'm talking to one of the head honchos. You may have seen them all over. NBC News. You were on peoplemagazine.com, the Today Show. Here he is. It's from Oneida, Tennessee, my hometown. It's Dan Blevins. Welcome to the Smoking Hot Toddcast, Dan.
Hello, and thank you for having me.
You're very welcome. So let's get right into it. You kind of went viral, I guess, towards the end of the year, right? Or at the beginning of this year is when it really took off in terms of people becoming aware of what was going on.
Yeah, it was in December when the USA Today article came out.
Mm-hmm. And the people around the world started, understanding what you were doing. And what really inspired you to start this?
It was inspired by a video that I did on TikTok, hence the name TikTok Stand-In Families. And it was a video of me just offering my services as a dad, willing to stand in at weddings for LGBTQ plus couples who didn't have that. And then the group kind of evolved from that to be more than just wedding stand-ins. We've got people, that opened their homes for the holidays. People just had to have somebody to talk to.
And did you think it would explode into what it's become? Did you think it was going to be this big when you first got started with it?
Absolutely not. No. No.
It was
it's funny when I think about it now, like I kept hesitating, like, do I really want to deal with this kind of thing? When starting a group and having to admin that and do all these things, do I really want to take this on? And I'm not one to halfway do anything. So I'm like, I knew in my mind, once I did it, I would be all the way in or nothing at all. So it took a lot of convincing me from friends on TikTok to organize this. And once it kind of took off, it was, there's no looking back now.
Right. And this is, and something very important is like, you don't get paid to do this at all. This is not your everyday job.
No, it's not. It is absolutely not.
Completely out of the goodness of your heart. And you started something that, according to the NBC article, now, of course, this was towards the beginning of the year, had 30,000 members across 60 countries. Now, is that still the number, or has it grown even more since then?
We're a little over 35,000.
Wow.
In 70 countries now.
Unbelievable. And It's just this thing that has taken off. It's like I said, it's wonderful news from our hometown. Like I said, you rarely hear this from Oneida, but
right.
But the fact that you've stepped out and taken this huge role. I mean, how does it make you feel? I mean, are you humbled by it, or do you feel like you're a hero? What's your feeling towards this?
I'm extremely humbled by it, because I tell people all the time, I just pushed a few buttons on Facebook. I could be sitting in that group by myself and no one would even notice. So without all the people that believed in the idea and came into the group and offered their support, it wouldn't be what it is today. So, I just kind of pushed a button. Everybody else did all the work.
Because it really does. Any great, thing revolves around the people. And so it's really amazing to see just how many people are out there willing to show this much support. I mean, it's help, but it's not like long-term help. You're really just there kind of as a friend or a shoulder to cry on during that time that somebody needs it most. But it's amazing just how many people are out there that want to do that, that want to help in that
Right.
scenario.
It's actually long term.
Is it?
People are building relationships, ongoing relationships. Not revolving around a wedding or an event. They're actually building a family, and connecting and filling in those roles that they're missing in their lives. And the fact that people want to do that is amazing.
It really is. And so I mean, there you go. It goes above and beyond. You're creating this giant connection around the world that really hasn't been seen before, or if it had, it'd always been a secret. It's finally something that's out in the world and says, we're there for you, and we hear you in your time of need.
Right. Yeah. I was inspired to do the TikTok video that inspired the group by Free Mom Hugs, which is Sarah Cunningham. She was the founder of that. She and I have connected after the Today Show interview, and actually have a Zoom meeting with her later this week, and we're going to work on a project together. So it's she's like a hero of mine, and so it's kind of come full circle for me.
It really
she inspired me, and now we're friends, and we're going to work together. So I'm excited for that.
See, that's incredible. It's making those connections to, like I've been talking about, create something that's so huge around the world and desperately needed, because it's just it's just something that's ongoing in terms of support, and that really leads to a big question. Do you ever think there'll be a day when parents all around the world can accept their child for who they are?
I wish I could say yes, but I think it's going to get better. I don't know if it will be completely to where everybody accepts their child being LGBTQ plus, but it's better now than it was when I was younger. So we have made progress, but we're just not all the way there. The stories, for anybody that joins the group, the stories that we read in this group are absolutely heartbreaking. And you just think about a parent not showing up to a wedding. That's one thing. We've got kids at 14 and 15-year-olds being kicked out of their homes. They're living on the streets. So that takes it to, a whole new level. They're literally fighting to survive. So we've still got a long way to go. I don't know if we'll see that in our lifetime. That's the only way I can say that.
Right. No, and you're right. It's a sad fact. It's just something that continues on. And, even, the Catholic Church, it probably will never say once and for all that they stand with LGBTQ, but it was nice to hear the Pope say, don't abandon your children just because of who they are, accept them for who they are. But it was still so disheartening. It was to see people comment, well, the Pope better get right with God or whatever. And it's like, he's supposed to be the direct representative, and you're still not getting it. It's like, it's okay if you don't understand it, but don't abandon your family just because of who they are. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense. And so it's like you said, there's still a long way to go, and it's still so sad to see it happen. But when you take
exactly
humongous steps like this, I mean, I know that there's going to be peace eventually. There's going to be love, and I think that's the main thing that we need in the future. That's the only thing that's going to save us from everything that's going on right now, is just love and understanding. Right. So to see a group like this take that step, I mean, it's huge.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you made a point, with religion, and from my experience with the people that I have worked with and that reach out to me, religion is almost always a determining factor when parents turn away from their kids. And I often wonder, for most of them, they have this idea in their head that they're going to heaven. because of their beliefs. And I'm always imagining them going to Jesus and saying, you know, I threw my kids away for you. And him turning away from them and saying, I didn't ask you to do that.
Right. Exactly. And and that's what always gets to me. And people are realizing that more and more is you say that you're religious, you say that you love God, you love Jesus, but you're not really following their plan. You're following your version of their plan. It's not really what they're because they want you to love everyone, and that's the whole point of this group and of everything that's in the world is love. That's the number one thing. And so it's just it's disheartening to see that in 2022 we're still looking down the barrel of that of hate. And but that, like I said, this group is the step that we need, because my sister is LGBTQ. She came out to my parents 3 or 4 years ago. They were more than loving and understood and opened their arms and said, don't worry, we're not going to disown you in any way for that. And we nothing changed. Nothing really changed. And I was like, that's the perfect example of why isn't everybody like that? Why can't
exactly.
why can't there be love for the, because my mom has always been supportive of my dad. It took him time to understand, because but he did when he found out about my sister, he got right on board. And that's all that you have to do, even if you don't understand.
If you really think about it, that's the easiest thing to do. It's the easiest thing for any parent to do, is to just love their kids. Right. I don't understand why that is so hard. I'm a parent. I've got 2 children. Both my kids are married and have families of their own. They've made mistakes I don't agree with, but never once in my mind did I think, well, I'm never speaking to them again.
Right.
I don't want them around me again. So that mentality, I think a lot of it is religious influence, honestly. And that's me having religious family members, extended family, that no longer speak to me.
Right.
That was their decision, not mine. And, that I just don't see how people think that is, what Christ wants. I believe in God. I'm not a religious person, but I believe in God.
Exactly. And that's
and your mother actually joined the group as well.
Did she? Because I know she, like I said,
she did, yeah.
I know
she and I had a conversation.
Really? She hadn't told me about that, because I know she's a supporter of you as well, but I was like, she didn't tell me. We talked about you. She didn't even know I was interviewing you. So this will be a big excitement shock for her too. But she talks about you all the time, but she didn't tell me all about that you all had a conversation. What y'all talk about? If it's too personal. She just reached out to me to let me know that she had joined the group and how much she appreciated it. Well, that's great. See, and that's what I'm talking about. It's the outreach, and you never know who you'll find out there. It's
right.
You'd be surprised sometimes who's an ally. And
right.
It's I guess at the end of the day, it's just you'll never know unless you ask.
Yeah. And I think that's one of the biggest things is just seeing the amount of allies come together in one place is what is so beautiful about TikTok Standing Families. Because when someone comes in that group and they need someone to talk to, or they're, something's happened, and members will make a post, and within seconds of that post being approved, there are people in the comments. They're reacting to the post. They're asking, can they DM them to have a private conversation? So anybody that needs support can find it there for whatever they need support for.
It's a beautiful thing, and it just keeps growing and growing. And of course, you talked about your next project, but what's the next big overall goal now?
Next, right now we have a website and an app in the works. The plan is I haven't really thought about keeping the group on Facebook, but we're going to move to our own platform, because Facebook excludes a lot of people.
Yes.
Because a lot of people do not want to be on Facebook. So that will open up the group to even more people who need our assistance and people who want to help. A nonprofit is probably in the future for maybe later in the year. We've got a name change coming with the website and the app. I don't want any legal issues with TikTok, so we're going to drop TikTok from the name. But as of right now, I think those are probably the biggest things that are coming up.
And it's just going above and beyond, and the world is changing in such a great way. And
right.
One of the main people we have to thank is right here on the computer. It's Dan Blevins, one of the nicest guys. First of all, I have to say, you have two children that are married and have children of their own. I don't believe that. I don't believe that, because you look like you're about my age. I'm 32. You look like you're my age. I don't know how that works, that you have two children grown already and married with kids. I don't understand that.
I'm 45.
Stop. No way. That you don't look 45.
Yeah.
Well, you're doing.
I was a very young father, so.
Well, that happens. But I mean, at 45, you still look amazing. So that's all that matters. But
Well, thank you.
You're very welcome. Well, keep on keeping on. You're doing an amazing job. Dan Blevins, TikTok Standing Families. Go follow them on TikTok and keep up with everything they're doing so that you can keep up. And if you want to help, reach out to him. Check them out on Facebook and on TikTok. Dan, keep up the good work. Thank you so much for everything you're doing.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. We've been talking to Dan Blevins on the Smoking Hot Toddcast.